Welcome back to a pretty monumental episode in the Purple Rain podcast history. Number 10. Number 10. So thank you to everybody for showing out, supporting us, and letting us have 10 episodes. That's big. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's big. So
Absolutely. Yeah, man,
you know,
that's huge. Episode 10, like it's a big milestone, We kind of look at this podcast as like this is our child, It's 10 years old, 10 episodes old, It's only getting up there. Wait till we turn 20. Wait till we turn 30, 40. Ooh.
But per usual, I am simply AS10, and that is Sutton Def. You can find me on Instagram at simply AS10.prod and on Twitter at AlexSoberman_. Tell them where they can find you.
Yes, sir. And they can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def, SUTTONDEF. It's right there on the screen for you guys. Follow both of us, interact with both of us, start a conversation with any of us on our social media. We're always here to talk to you guys.
Yes.
And we've already got some people in the house here. So let's go ahead and go through the chat, see who we have. Let's do a little Rain Gang roll call here. Let's see, we got
the Rain Gang.
The Rain Gang. What's up, Rain Gang? Devin Saunders. What's up, man? Nicholas Branch. Christopher. Parker. David. Zay King 56, our guy. Let's see. Zach George. Brandon Collins. Justin Follette. K-Dog. Oh, my goodness. You guys are just in here in full effect tonight. What is going on, guys? Our guy Ewok Plays is in here as well. Of course, we have a lot to talk about, a lot to get to tonight. Big week for Ravens fans. It's been a very good week.
Yes.
And we did a live stream directly following that Monday night spectacular game, that the Ravens managed to pull out a victory in, and that was a very fun stream. And we told you guys on that stream that on this stream, we're gonna break it down a little bit more. We're gonna kind of, since we're not, too much, like, emotions aren't running high right now as much as they were after that game on Monday. So we can we're back to earth now. We can talk about it a little bit more in depth. We can preview, most importantly, our game coming up this week on December 20th, which happens to be my birthday.
Yes.
Against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Birthday dub.
Yeah, we definitely need a birthday dub. I think every time that the Ravens have played on my birthday, we've won. I can't remember the last time, but yeah, definitely knock on wood for sure. But yeah. We'll be previewing the Jaguars game, but we already see you guys rolling through here with the questions already in the chat, so we will get to those.
Yes.
But yeah, first, man, simply, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. Like, I'm a man of my word, so I said if the Ravens pull it out, gotta have a drink ready. And that's gonna happen. So we're gonna pop this real quick. But on a more serious note, some news came out last night about a former Raven who unfortunately passed away. So rest in peace to Lorenzo Taliaferro, rest in power. 28 years young. Man, doesn't sit right with me. Really just sending prayers to his family and friends. I know he has a young daughter. That's not right. And I actually made a tribute video. So if you want to check out who he was, if you're not a Ravens fan, or if you don't know who he is, he was running back from 2014 to 2016, had 5 career touchdowns for us. And he was like Gus Edwards before Gus Edwards. Big running back and would just run people over. But I'm doing pretty good besides that. How are you doing?
Yeah, besides that, I mean, I'm doing pretty well myself, man. Like you said, rest in power to Lorenzo Taliaferro. Our condolences are definitely with his friends and family. And just, all of his former teammates, everything like that.
Yeah.
We know that this is definitely a rough time. So definitely rest in peace to him. But I'm doing pretty good, man. I can't complain. I actually just got off of work. Like literally just got home, like in the house probably about 10 minutes ago. So here we are, you know what I mean? But I would rather be doing nothing else than to come home and talk to the Rain Gang right on here in the Purple Rain podcast. Keeping it real says, what's good, everyone? Definitely what's good to you, bro. I watched your reaction videos to the Monday night game and some of your other ones. Hilarious. You guys gotta check him out. We had him on the podcast a couple weeks ago. But yeah, so let's see. Did you have any other thoughts, like, post-game thoughts about that Monday night game? I know we talked about a lot of it after the game on Monday, but what have you been really thinking of? What's been on your mind and what's been on you guys' minds as well in the chat since that game? How are you feeling about the state of the Baltimore Ravens currently?
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Mm.
I was telling you before, I'm feeling good about our offense. All right. Our offense
Mm.
has come to life recently. Now, I
Mm.
know it's, not the best, defenses, but hey, putting up points against teams when before we weren't really put up anything. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
it's play who you have to play that week.
Yeah.
So, besides that, I mean, defense is definitely a worry right now, but I think we have one of the best, if not the best, defensive coordinator in the league. So I think it'll get better with time. But let me know what you think.
Yeah, man. I mean, and it's funny because right before we went live on air, you were telling me that you basically have a newfound hope in Greg Roman.
I do.
You
I
do.
do.
So let's talk a little bit about that. What are you seeing from him now that's really have you like, okay, maybe we can rock with this guy. We can stick with this guy.
Okay, so I was watching his press conference today, and just the way he was talking, like I was thinking about it. Without Mark Ingram, I mean, he's not been the best, but our running backs, he's realizing we're playing to our strength.
Hmm.
We have Gus and we have JK doing their thing, and even Lamar. These weren't quarterback design runs. You were passing it, nothing's there. Lamar's taken off, and
Yeah.
that is what was helping us just control the game and just score points. And I'm like, okay, this looks a lot like last year. Lamar
Hmm.
not 17 passes, but having a touchdown, having a good passer rating, and him
Hmm.
having 100 yards rushing and barely getting hit. That's
Yeah.
what I like to see. And then our receivers, I mean, if you weren't here on Monday or Tuesday early morning,
Hmm.
big shout out to Mark Andrews and Willie Snead because they did their thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They did their thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, I definitely think that, and I think I was saying this a couple weeks ago on an episode of the Purple Rain podcast that, like, we're wasting downs by giving the ball to Mark Ingram, in a
Yes.
lot of drives. And you saw that he literally did not touch the ball after that attempted flea flicker in the beginning of the game. And you saw what happened with our running backs. Our running backs were actually getting chunk plays. They were getting good yardage and stuff like that when we're not wasting a first down on a Mark Ingram 1 yard carry. You know what I mean? There's no reason for us to have three backs in the backfield and try to, give a third of the shares to all of them, the
Yeah.
carries to all of them. And one of them is just not producing. It's not going to work for you. So Greg Roman finally figured that out. We finally started using J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards as our
Oh
main
my
two
God,
backs. And
man.
it's proven to pay dividends for us already.
Yeah. I don't want to cause any hype or any drama, but Gus Edwards, in my opinion, top 10 running back in the league. He
Mm,
showed it on Monday night. He
yep.
broke off. They weren't 1 yard touchdowns. They were 15, 20 yard runs and just
Yeah.
hitting the
Yeah.
hole and just beating people. I mean, let him go under the radar because if
Yeah,
he
man.
does, I can see this team making the playoffs and finally winning a game and just breaking that hunch. If Greg Roman sticks to what we do best, run the damn ball.
Run the football. And like you said, like a lot of those Lamar Jackson runs were not designed runs. It was
Exactly.
literally just Lamar Jackson taking what the defense was giving him. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And that's what we need. That is so clutch. It's so important because you know what happens when you take what the defense gives you? We get plays like what happened on that 4th and 5, when Lamar came back into the game where,
Oh my.
he was about to take what the defense was giving him. He was going to run and he might have got that 5 yards for a first down. He might have got that 5 yards if he would have just ran it or if he'd have dumped it
Yeah.
off to J.K. Dobbins. But everybody crashed in because it was basically like an all-out blitz and he just hit him over the top.
Yep.
No other quarterback is forcing that out of a defense. You know what I mean? And it's come in part because Lamar Jackson, he hurt them so much with his legs.
Mm-hmm.
So they
You
had to
gotta
respect
respect
it
it.
and cheat up. Yeah, they had to respect
Exactly.
it. So, yeah, I think that our offense is definitely getting back on track at the right time, but it just sucks because it seems like our defense is just not staying at that same level that it was at earlier in the season, which definitely is it's no good. Let's
Real quick,
see.
while
Yeah,
you're
go
looking at
ahead, go ahead.
comments,
Yeah, I'm looking
when
through
he
it.
threw that ball up, I was like, "Oh my! Like, why is he going for the deep pass right now? Like, what? Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?" And to see number 15 Marquise Brown under that, he's gonna drop it, isn't he? And the fact he
Oh
just
my
brought it,
goodness.
he caught it with his chest, which I don't like. But you
Yep.
know what? For passes like that, you kind of have to catch it with your chest.
Yeah, over the shoulder.
Yeah, but man, and he used the ref as a blocker.
He
Marquise,
did.
Marquise, you earned Hollywood back a little bit, but you're still on the leash. But man,
Yeah. very, very short leash. And I know we gave him the nickname back officially like Monday night after the game, but now that I'm thinking about it, after further review, I still don't know if we can give him the
I
nickname
don't think we
back,
can.
bro.
Those
Those three
drops.
drops were just like, it was just like, bro. And it came at times when we really needed him to make that play, you know?
Yes.
So it's just, and we're talking about wide open catches, like that one that Trace threw him, and it just kind of like, it hits him in the hands and then it just kind of bounces up and goes out of bounds, like out of his hands. And it's just like, come on, man, you're killing us. And I think I texted you at that point too during the game. Like it was bad. It was bad, man. But we'll see. We'll see what Hollywood does. Like I was saying the other night, like my biggest problem with Hollywood is that a lot of the times he does not attack the ball when trying to catch it. He'll just let the ball attack him and come to him. And, that's why he excels at that over the shoulder catch. You've seen him, make that over the shoulder catch so many times. You saw it against Dallas the week before. One other notable time was when Hollywood Brown, he caught that, remember against the Jets, that deep ball from Lamar?
Oh,
like
the
in the back of the end zone.
Swag. Yep.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good at catching that over the shoulder deep ball. But the slant routes, the routes, the out routes and stuff like that, where we need him to kind of go attack the ball and be a possession receiver.
The chain movers.
Exactly. He's just not. He's not that guy. No. So yeah.
But
I want
to. Who is that? Oh, you know who is that guy?
Who?
Willie Snead showed he was that guy.
Willie Snead.
We were talking about this. I believe a lot of just not Ravens fans, but fans in general. That 3rd and 10 from Trace McSorley to Willie Snead kept us in the game. I mean, because the Browns had all this momentum, 2 straight touchdowns. Baker, he's dangerous right now, and he was dangerous on Monday. That running touchdown, he was feeling it. If we give him that ball back, they're scoring again, and that game's out of our reach. And the fact McSorley, I'm glad his injury is not bad at all. If we make the playoffs, he'll be back. But he threw it up there for Willie Snead, and Snead just put his hands up there, and he looked like a Julio Jones. He just went up there, caught it, brought it down. Yeah. 11 yards on a 3rd and 10. You really can't ask much more from him there. That was great football.
Absolutely not. That was a great play made by Willie Snead, and Willie Snead, we don't appreciate him enough, right? Like he's that possession receiver guy. No, he's not like an explosive big play over the top kind of receiver. Not going to beat you downfield a whole lot or anything like that. But when you need a play to be made, you need 10 yards, you need 12, 13 yards. You can get the ball to Willie Snead. Yep. You even saw that against the Steelers the first time we played them on that very last play. Willie Snead could have, I'm not going to say he could have made the catch, but it was right there. He could have made that play, but he was like double covered and he got hit while he was trying to catch it too. So I understand why he didn't. But Willie Snead has definitely been very good for us this season. Very proud of him.
It says a lot. I mean, when Lamar has Boykin out there, a big body receiver, and he throws it to Snead, that's showing how much trust Lamar has in Willie Snead, which is pretty big. And I think if we want to make the playoffs, he'll be crucial. I mean, he finds the soft spot, and that's what great receivers do.
Yeah.
You really just can't get mad at that. Love to see it.
That's another reason why, guys like Travis Kelce on the Chiefs, like, he's really, really good at finding, the soft spot in the defense, because I think he actually used to be a quarterback at one point. And so he knows, like, the spots he needs to be on the field. And that is you can't even put a price tag on, a player that has that sort of knowledge, especially a receiver. Let's see. I just want to get to some of these questions here. Just address the chat. Let's see. Nicholas Branch, he says, how do y'all feel about our playoff odds right now? I'm feeling pretty good, man. Me personally, I'm feeling pretty good. We got through our toughest test for the remainder of the season, which was the Browns. We got out of there with a W. Now we've got to take care of the Jags. We got to take care of business against the Giants, and we have to take care of business against the Bengals, which I definitely think that we can do all three. Of course, not just saying outright we're going to win all three of those games just because, because anything can happen any given Sunday. But I definitely give us a good chance to win those games. And if we do, we're still not guaranteed a playoff spot.
Nope.
But I think that we have a really good chance at making the playoffs if we can win out.
I agree with you there. I mean, I'm really just hoping if we win out. So the Dolphins and the Raiders still play, I think, next week.
Yeah.
Dolphins still got to play the Bills, play the Patriots. They have 3 hard games. Mm-hmm. So let's just take it. Let's just focus on go 1-0 each week. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If you do that, don't worry about anything else. It'll just play in your hands. So, I mean, I'm feeling good. To answer your question.
That's pretty much it. Just kind of branching off of that question, I was thinking about something interesting. If we slide into the playoffs in that 7th seed, the first team we'll be playing in the wild card is most likely either going to be the Bills or the Steelers, because they're kind of jostling for position right now in the 2nd and 3rd seed. So we're going to be playing one of them. I think that's very interesting. I think if we play the Bills, wild card, that would be a great game. I think that would be a great game.
They're a very, very
They
good
are.
team.
They played us tough
And
last year too.
they did. And Hayden Hurst was the X factor, who's no longer with us,
It's
which
true.
sucks. Man, I think if we were to play the Bills, I wouldn't say we were going to win. I think we lose that game, 100%.
Wow.
Josh Allen
Oh,
is
man.
looking very, very good right now.
I'll tell you one thing. We could lose pretty much any game in the playoffs if we're not getting pressure on the quarterback. That's one
And
thing.
especially, man, Josh Allen, he's like Ben Roethlisberger, but much
Yeah.
more mobile.
Yeah.
It takes more than one guy to take him down. Except last year, LJ Ford took him down by himself, if you remember that. So
He said by himself. Yeah, he did. Engraven, what's up, bro? He says, "What's up, fellas?"
what's up?
He's in the house. Shout out to Engraven Videos. Make
Big
sure y'all
shout
go
out.
subscribe to him. I know all of y'all are probably already
better.
subscribed to him.
You better
Engraven.
be.
Who's not subscribed to Engraven? You know what I'm saying? If you haven't, make sure you definitely go subscribe to him. Awesome videos, literally every single day.
And
So,
the live streams during the games, his reactions.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they deserve a lot more views because it's just real time, real reactions. I know I can have a camera on me for that Ravens game on Monday because I would be banned off of YouTube. The fact you do it, all my respect.
Let's see here. We've got a couple more questions. Let's see. Brett Henry says, "Do you think we should trade Mark Ingram after the season if we re-sign Gus?"
I think
Yeah.
Ingram's gone either way after the season,
Yeah,
unless he
either
takes
way.
a major pay cut.
Right. Shoot, I mean, you think he may retire? Or is he gonna go play somewhere else? I don't know if he has anything left in the tank to be. Well, definitely not a starting running back anywhere, but he could go somewhere where there's they have a bell cow back already. You know what I mean? They just need a backup. They don't have
The
any sort of
Saints
three-headed
again.
monster.
I can see him
Saints.
back with the Saints. I mean, the fact that Latavius Murray gets his chances down there, but Kamara is the number one back no matter what.
Mhm.
So, I mean, he fits in their system, but I think what he really wants is that ring. That's all he's missing is that ring. He has the Heisman. He just needs
Yeah.
a Super Bowl ring. I think we got to get him that this year, but you're 100% right. He'll be a number 2 somewhere else if he leaves us.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Jonathan Washington Jr. He says, "If Ravens make the playoffs, which seed would you want?" I just want any seed. I want us to
Yep.
make the playoffs. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, it doesn't matter if we're a 7th seed, negative first seed,
I don't
3rd
care.
seed. It doesn't matter as long as we make the dance.
That's because anything can happen. Look at the Titans last year. They got
Yeah.
in last week 17, and then they got made to the AFC Championship.
Yeah. Let's see. What else do we have in here from you guys? Who do you think will win the Super Bowl? Phineas Humphrey says, "Who do you think will win the Super Bowl?" Who
I
do
got
I
Packers
think's
and
gonna
Chiefs
win
right
it? You got Packers and Chiefs.
I think it's going to be a Super Bowl one rematch. I just
Mm.
they're the best teams of each
Yeah,
conference
man.
right now.
It's just hard to see anybody beating the Chiefs in the postseason. Just the way that they play, their sense of urgency at times. It seems sometimes you can catch them sleeping, like the Texans did last year, and they had them up by like 3 or 4 scores, and then the Chiefs just come marching right back.
That's Bill O'Brien. They had a chance to kick a field goal, but they go for it on 4th. You're up 24-0. Take the field goal. Take the point. Don't go for 7. And that came back to bite them. I think the Chiefs' biggest issue is coaching because it's against the Bucks it happened and the Dolphins. They let the Bucks back in and the Dolphins got an early lead on them. I think the Dolphins are too inexperienced on the offensive side of the ball to make that to keep up with the Chiefs.
Yeah,
But I think a team like the Bills, I think the Bills are the only team in the AFC that can actually beat the Chiefs in the game.
well, I mean, that's true. That's still asking for a lot, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, because the Chiefs' defense is underrated as well at times, and I think that they'll probably take that step up in the playoffs that they need in order to get back to the big dance, the Super Bowl. Let's see. Tim Miller, he says, I feel Tyus Bowser should get an extension over Judon and Yannick Ngakoue. Do y'all agree? Absolutely.
We have been saying this. Hashtag pay Tyus Bowser.
Yeah. Give Bowser a bag for sure. He deserves it. He's been balling. He also had that, that pick on Baker that should have been a pick six. He was that close, literally that close to being a pick six. But definitely give that man his money. He deserves it.
Think about it. In arguably our three biggest games this year, Titans, Steelers, we're missing everybody, and now the Browns. He's had picks in each of those games. He's our leading player with interceptions. That's crazy. Yeah.
Wow. Did not know that. Let's see. Brandon Collins, he says, do you guys think this will be Yannick Ngakoue, Dez Bryant, or Devin Duvernay's breakout game?
Who do you think? I know exactly who I'm going to say. 100%.
I'm gonna have to go with Dez, man. I gotta go with Dez because it's been weeks since he's been on the field. We're down. Most likely we're gonna be down Marquise Brown, and James Prochet, and who was the third one? Boykin.
Miles Boykin, yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna be without those three guys most likely. I heard it's like a maybe. They might be able to play on Sunday.
They keep testing negative.
Oh yeah, if they keep testing negative. Has there been any new news about that today or no?
No. So I guess no news is good news.
Yeah, you would
that.
think. But if they weren't to play, then I would definitely take Dez Bryant because I just see us getting his targets in. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be plays drawn up for him that we had drawn up for him a couple weeks ago against the Cowboys that we just have not used yet. So I think we're definitely gonna get Dez Bryant his shares on the field, which you would love to see because we want Dez Bryant to really get in rhythm and fired up going into the postseason. We don't want him, kind of cold going into January. Not what we want. But who do you think, though?
The man who had a public Twitter beef with his former owner's son, Yannick Ngakoue. He is gonna have a great game. I'm looking at this Twitter conversation now. He told the son of the owner of the Jaguars to stop hiding. This man is going to be on a tear. And I got it wrong the Cowboys game with this. I'm not going to say how many sacks he's going to have, but he's going to get a sack this week. And he's going to have that breakout game. It's going to be he's going to do it. Be everywhere, I think. It's going to be that he's going to show why he left the Jaguars.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely could say that. I mean, I think Yannick Ngakoue, I wanted him to have a breakout game this past week against the Browns, but that didn't really happen, unfortunately.
He was getting that pressure.
We just weren't getting home. You know what I mean?
No.
Like a lot of times for me, it seems like Yannick Ngakoue is always there just a little bit too late. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit too late, like a hair too late. You know what I mean? So as long as if he can start to get home, then I'll really, start to hop on the Yannick train because we really haven't really seen a huge return on our investment for him, at least not yet. Let's see. King 56. He says, could one make the claim that Young Ho Koo and Rodrigo Blankenship are just as good as Justin Tucker? And see, right now I cannot say that because these guys are not nearly as proven as Justin Tucker. They don't have the same resume that Justin Tucker has. So I cannot say as of right now that they're better than him because they don't have better numbers than him. And I know it gets tricky because, kickers have different opportunities and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say that they're better. Would you?
No way. I mean, Tucker, look at his rookie year. Look what he made in double overtime against the Broncos in Denver. He's made the field goal to send us to the AFC Championship. That right there, I mean, as a rookie, I can't put them even close to Justin Tucker. I mean, Tucker's in his own just bracket at this point, and then there's everybody else behind him.
Yeah, you're right about that. Let's see. Is Yannick Ngakoue better than Josh Allen?
Oh, Josh Allen on that. Yep. So the Jags, Josh Allen, their defensive end. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen has been really, really good for the Jags. I mean, right now you got to say he is because Yannick is just not getting the stats and getting sacks right at this point. So I would say Josh Allen is better right now. But overall,
Yeah.
Yannick.
Let's see. Yeah, a lot of Yannick talk right here in the chat now. Christina
It's a revenge game.
Williams, shout out to you. She says Yannick has been getting closer every week. He has. He gets very close, but he just doesn't get home. You know what I mean? Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And this is something that, you actually have to get home for, in order
So
to put up those numbers. So
it's like the quarterback will just throw the ball and then Yannick Tan's right there. Like
he's
he's
right
just
there. It's like,
he's that close. But he did have one against Tannehill.
get
So I'm
there.
like, I think he can do it. Like this week, I really have a lot of faith in Yannick. He has an
Yeah.
extra motivation, and I'm not too sure if the Jags have a good O line.
Hmm.
And it's Gardner, so I'm hoping Gardner talk trash to him in practice one day, and it just pops up in Yannick's head.
That'd be dope. Juan Gotti says Yannick, he's got one spin move to the inside, but most of his rush moves are outside rushes. That's true. I haven't
Yeah,
seen too many of the inside spins, but I do see a lot of that outside. Swiping the hand down of the O line, the O lineman. I see that a lot out of Yannick Ngakoue, but hopefully, as our guys like Calais Campbell continue to get healthy, because even Calais said it himself, he's not 100%, but he's still playing.
yeah.
If he can actually get back to a good status in terms of like health, then I think that our defensive line will be a lot better. But do you think that the struggles from the defense has fallen on Wink more so, or is it just
I don't,
is it our players? I don't
I
know.
don't think we can because he just got super unlucky last week. I mean, we suited up what 4 or 5 corners, and
Hmm.
then two of them get hurt, Jimmy Smith and Devontae Harris. Then we have Anthony Levine playing corner.
Yeah.
So I don't really think I don't think we can put on Wink. I mean, he's drawing up the right plays. It's just the guys aren't getting there. I think about it against the Eagles game. Calais had 3 sacks that game, fully healthy. So can you just imagine what this pass rush can look like when everybody's healthy?
Yeah.
Madubuike, I think he had his best game of the year on Monday, and Brandon Williams had the tipped tip pass last week for the pick for Patrick Queen, and was just a run.
Yeah.
He's just one of the best run stuffers in the league. So I think once we can see a fully healthy defense, I think we'll see it all come together. But right now, he's kind of just playing with like what he can right now, what he has
Yeah.
to offer.
Yeah. That's true. I definitely agree with that. Nicholas Branch, he says, do you think that we should sign Allen Robinson in the offseason because Lamar needs a true number one receiver? We've talked about Allen Robinson before. My personal, viewpoint on it is that I really don't want us in the offseason to go ahead and, spend a bunch of money on a wide receiver. I want us to at least try to develop what we've got.
Yep.
We've us getting Des Bryant. For me, it's like, okay, we can utilize Des Bryant for at least 1 to 2 years. We can get him to be that big play guy at least every now and then, if not every game, at least every now and again. I don't think we need to go out and spend big time money on a receiver like that when we don't even have the offensive line all the way
Yep.
figured out. And you need the offensive line to throw the ball because Lamar can't throw the ball from his back.
Yeah.
So we need to, in the draft. That's another thing about the draft. 2K Crossover 21 says draft. We've talked about it before. O lineman should definitely be first. But what do
We
you think
both
about the whole
agree.
Allen Rob? Yeah. What do you think about the whole Allen Robinson thing though?
As much as it would be nice to have him, I'm just gonna throw this out to you. Orlando Brown's gonna be a free agent soon. So is Mark Andrews. I
Hmm.
would rather put money towards them than just get Allen Robinson. That's just
Okay.
me. I mean, as nice as it would be to have him, just think about how our offensive line would look. Our offense would look if we lost either one of Andrews or Zeus.
Hmm.
So I say you got to put the money towards them at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely agree.
And unfortunately
Um.
for us, Little Zeus, his stock just keeps on going up every week. He held Miles Garrett on Monday to basically nothing, and he moved from right tackle to left tackle. So he's gonna win a lot of money, but he's worth every penny of it.
He's worth every single penny. Even like you can see like some of those plays like where Lamar is taking it up the middle off of the read option. You see big Orlando Brown leading the way. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like just pancaking guys. Like it's
like it's
really it's
nothing.
really amazing what he does, man. I love Orlando Brown. I appreciate him so much for what he's done, especially in the absence of Ronnie Stanley ever since we
Yeah,
lost him. Um, Let's see. Phineas Humphrey, he asked another question. He says, do you think the Jets will win a game this year? At this point, I don't think they will.
So I know they have the Rams this week. Let me check.
L.
They're going to lose this week. That's a big L. Aaron Donald is going to have his way with them. They have, after this, the Browns and then the Patriots.
Those are two L's. Two more L's.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, any given Sunday, but right now, they're going to 0-16. Hey, if they would have beat the Browns for us.
It's, I mean, yeah, by all means. You know what I mean? Go ahead and take care of business. But my thing is, man, with the Jets, it's any given Sunday, but with the Jets, it's kind of not. And you kind of learned, like, it was like that against the Raiders game.
Yep.
When they basically gave the game away. It was just like, okay, all right. You guys literally are not trying to win.
I don't get the point. Aren't the Jags like 2 wins? So what's the point of you getting 1 win? You still have the number 1 pick. And I don't even think that the Jets need Trevor Lawrence at this point. That's just me. But because right now, if we're looking at it, Chase Young was a better pick than Joe Burrow. That, once again, just right now. So I don't think it's best player available. It's best player that you need for your team.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you think that they move off of Sam Darnold and go for Trevor Lawrence?
Man, I don't know, because I think Darnold, it will be his 4th year, and are they going to reject his 5th-year option? I'm really not too sure with that. That's a big move for their front office.
Yeah, you're right about that. You are right about that. Let's see what we got going on in the chat right about now. Let's see. Jonathan Washington Jr., he asks if there are any good O-linemen hitting the market this upcoming free agency.
I think we looked over this, but it's not like there's the big name free agent. I can check it right now for you.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like our odds in the draft. You know, I like our odds in the draft. We can get somebody out of there. We'll get Stanley back, you know, on the line. Stanley on one end and Orlando Brown on the other end. And as long as we can just get, you know, somebody solid to fill that, you know, that right guard position for us, you know, somebody permanent. I don't know if Skura is going to stay in that spot.
I think he's taken over the center spot, I think.
Well, the center spot. Yeah. So, I don't know. It might be.
There are some good free agents upcoming.
Who we got?
Brandon Sheriff, Joe Thuney, Trent Williams, Villanueva from the Steelers.
Yeah.
Jason Peters. I know he's old, but Peters is reliable as hell, even though he's hurt. Matt Filer from Pittsburgh, David Andrews. So anybody from the Patriots line who were like literally ranked top 5 PFF, like their line is the best in the league. I mean, there's some solid guys out there, but I just don't think we're gonna splash the cash on one. I'd rather see us we're probably sound like a fluker type signing, a 1-year deal for somebody, kind of prove it, and then maybe just draft somebody, which is probably always the best thing to do.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, I definitely, like you said, definitely drafting somebody I think would be our best bet, but I would not mind having one of those guys on the squad as well.
I mean, look at our line now. We're going to get Stanley back. That's our left tackle and right tackle with him and Zeus. Bozeman was like a 7th-round pick. That was an amazing pick because he's been super, super, super reliable.
Solid, yeah. And
then we have our center in Makari or Skura, probably Makari. Honestly, we just need a right guard because Phillips or Fluker cannot hold that down unless they see something that we don't. But I'd probably say definitely lineman is the best pick possible.
Yeah, man. Joseph Follett says, do we really need O-line? They played well on Monday. Yeah, man. We really need O-line.
Look at last year.
Yeah. We lost Marshall Yonda. We've got to do our best job to try to fill those shoes, and I know we never will. Eventually we'll get somebody will come along the line that's, just as good, if not better. But for right now, we got to do everything we can to, even try to mimic, what he did for our offensive line and what he did for Lamar Jackson, because we've seen a huge drop off in Lamar's passing numbers. And a huge part of that is because he hasn't had as much time to throw. He hasn't had as good protection in a lot of these games. Now, certain games, the line has played pretty well. and I fully admit that. But there have been other games where you think if he just had a little bit more time, he probably could have made a lot more stuff shake. Let's see. K-Dog mentions your guy.
Yes, because
Yeah.
Tristan Colunga. I mean, hey, what we could do, like I said, is we could throw Makari at right guard and put him at center if we see something. That is probably something that will happen next year in the preseason. Because I am looking forward to the preseason next year because we get to see so many of these guys that played in that game against Pittsburgh like in person now. So that is something I'm really excited for. And then to correct it, Bozeman was a 6th round pick, number 215. And now he's playing at a very, very high level.
Let's see. We have a couple more questions in the chat. Our guy, Zay King 56. Not Sonny, but Alex just answered that for you. He says Bozeman. You said a 6th round pick, right?
Yep, number 215.
Yeah. Let's see. Jonathan Washington Jr. He says, would you be opposed to grabbing another tight end in the draft like Kyle Pitts and try to create a matchup nightmare with Andrews? I honestly think that's something that we might try to do. We might try to get, that because I'm not too well versed in college football this year. But I'm sure, I don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle Pitts, is he like one of those like Swiss Army knife type tight ends? He can kind of block, he can run routes, he's got a little bit of speed to him.
I haven't been
Or
watching.
Is he kind of like just...
I know he's like the main point of Florida's offense, though. I know when he was out last week, they lost.
Yeah. Yeah, man. If we can get back to that whole, 2-3 tight end set thing, and our offense was rolling, the more the merrier.
Hey, I would love to have Hayden Hurst back. Like, just hey, if the Falcons want to let him go, the Ravens, please get him back. I mean, I think every Ravens fan can agree that we would love Hayden Hurst back. I mean, we would all take him back in the heartbeat. Yeah,
absolutely, Nicholas Brandt says Devontae Smith from Alabama. Should we draft him? We're not getting him.
First, he's going to be...
Yeah, it's looking like he's going to be one of the top receivers in this coming up draft. And like I said, receiver is not our number one priority. It may seem like that to us Ravens fans, but to that front office, I guarantee you they're not going to be looking to get a receiver in the first round. Maybe not anywhere near the first round, maybe 3rd round or something like that.
I definitely think we should draft a corner, though. Corner is
Lorenzo,
a big.
Yeah, absolutely. Corner in the 4th round, Joseph Follett says, I like that.
Nothing's wrong with that. I mean, look where we got Tavon Young. I think he was a 2nd or 3rd round pick a few years ago. I mean, without the injuries, he's been really good. So we have an eye for corners.
We absolutely do. Just defense in general, we've got an eye for it. So
now receivers.
Sports. Kayla Sports, he says, what do y'all think of Jalen Hurts beating the Saints? Ooh.
You can take us back a few weeks ago. I think we were calling for Jalen Hurts. We were calling for him. Now, I said I didn't think they would go to him because of the whole Carson Wentz contract, but they went to him. And he's the real deal. He's the real deal.
He had over 100 yards rushing on the Saints. The Saints are a really good run D.
Yeah.
Really, really good. So
he had Cam Jordan running for his life after him. Cam Jordan is a very good player.
He's a beast, yeah. Now, man, it's so crazy. I mean, literally a couple weeks ago, like Alex said, we were on the Purple Rain podcast. By the way, if you're watching live right now, we appreciate you. Go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. Yeah, sub if you're new. We love the new subs. Join the
Purple Rain gang.
Yeah, please. The Rain gang. We love all you guys. But we were on here the other week basically saying how, like, I think it was right before one of the Eagles' primetime games against, I can't remember who they played at the time, but we were saying that, like, if Carson Wentz goes out there and if he does anything less than win the game for his team, people are going to start, clamoring for, hey, let's get the kid in. Let's get Jalen Hurts going. You know what I mean? Because the Eagles, their franchise and their fan base, they're a hardcore fan base, man. They are tough love out in Philly, man.
I don't like the Eagles fan. I think they won one Super Bowl and they think they're owed the world. I'm like, be happy you got your Super Bowl, I know as a Ravens fan, like, I would kill for another Super Bowl right now. Like, come on. It's just like you're 100% right. I think they're the hardest fan base in the league. They're never happy with anything. Them and the Cowboys are never happy with anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
I look at the Cowboys. There was the whole Dak debate. He goes down. Look at them now. So just be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Let's see. KLA Sports. He also says the Eagles need to give Wentz a better situation and
Yeah,
then make a decision.
yeah.
That's the only reason why I think I tweeted it. I was like, I kind of feel bad for Carson Wentz, because they didn't surround him. They didn't do him justice.
No.
They didn't surround him with the pieces he needed to really succeed. Because you think about it, like, who's his number one playmaker on that offense?
I, I mean, you would think Rager, but he was never really involved that much.
You
I
would
mean,
think Rager, but he's new. You know what I mean? And other than
Alshon
that,
Jeffrey,
Zach Ertz.
he was
It's
hurt
like,
he was hurt, and his makeshift line. I
yeah,
mean, and then even
you
last year
know,
he was throwing a practice squad receivers and getting it done and got them in the playoffs. So it's like
yeah,
he's a good quarterback, but
yeah.
it's just you got to surround, kind of like what we saw with Flacco. Like we didn't really surround him or give him the tools necessary, and we wonder why we were mediocre.
That's true. That's true. Um, let's see. Will Tavon Young be forced to take a pay cut or get cut next year?
I think we already restructured, so I
Yeah,
think he'll be with us next year.
he'll be back. Yeah.
But it's
I
his last chance, I think.
hmm Let's see. Let's see. I had one more question I wanted to bring up in here from you guys. Do you see the Ravens moving on from Jimmy Smith?
I don't. I saw a stat like when he was on the field, they could barely throw on us on
hmm
Monday. But when he was off the field, they were having their way.
Yeah.
I want us to keep him again. It's just those injuries are just really starting to get annoying. It's like you don't even know if you can get a whole game out of him now without him getting injured.
Yeah. You're right about that, man. And it really sucks because like you said, he does a lot for our secondary on the low. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people really don't they don't understand that, like, they see Marlon Humphrey punching the ball out on every other play, but Jimmy Smith is kind of silent a lot of the time because, hey, he's got a lot of those guys on lock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At his age, he's still playing very, very high level football. It's just that he can't stay on the field.
This is like it's not like a Brandon Carr. Like I was never a Brandon Carr fan, but I think
Oh
Jimmy
yeah, me
Smith
neither.
is like levels above Carr. I think I would like for us to keep him. Now the
Yeah,
whole health thing, you just know that you have to just have another corner behind him
yeah,
because you know he's not going to give you a full 16 games.
all right. Let's see. Zach George, he asks if Marlon Humphrey is the Ravens Defensive Player of the Year.
I think it's either Marlon, Deshaun Elliott. I think he has to be in there. The way he stepped up this year.
But not over Marlon, though. Definitely not
No,
over
no, I'm
Marlon.
just giving candidates right now.
Yeah.
And if he was healthy the whole year, Brandon Williams. Oh no, actually, never mind. Derek Wolf. I'll throw
Derek
Derek
Wolf.
Wolf.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll throw
I'll
Derek. So
definitely put Derek Wolf.
those are the three. You got one from up front, a corner, and then you have safety. But
For
I think he
me,
is.
it's definitely got to be Marlon
Yeah,
Humphrey,
yeah,
man. Humphrey, he's just when you can do a thing so consistently and teams can game plan for it and they know you're going to try to do it and you can't stop it, that's different. That's a different level of, like, football. And by that thing, I'm talking about his whole fruit punch thing. He's punching the ball out. You saw he did it on 2 back-to-back plays against the
That's
Browns. Of course, we didn't recover those fumbles, but that's insane. You're punching
it's
out
like
the
seven
ball
force
from an
fumble. Like he has like 7 already.
yeah. He has 8. He has 8 on the
8.
season.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
He has 6 going into the Browns game, and he had 2 in that game. So he's got 8 now.
And you would
Like,
just think
bro.
hold up if you see 44 come and hold it, tighter. But he doesn't
Yeah.
care. He's gonna punch it
Yeah.
out.
And the telecasters were saying that, like, Marlon Humphrey, he actually studies other wide receivers and sees if they're loose
Oh,
with the ball and, like, how they like to carry the ball and stuff like that. And that's how he's able to, when he gets around them, he knows how to punch it out. So, like, that, I mean, all shout out, big props to Marlon Humphrey, man. He is playing great football, tremendous football. I know he got beat a couple times against the Cowboys, Michael Gallup, but for the greater part of the 2020 season and his career, he's been playing very, very high level football. And
yeah.
I definitely do think he is the Ravens Defensive Player of the Year.
He's every penny. Like I'm so happy we have him locked up. Just
Oh,
looking at the
yeah.
Jalen Ramsey, like Ramsey is a great corner, but he does not do what Marlon does best, which is the whole Marlon will get you a turnover at the most random time, which is amazing. So the fact we got him for less than Jalen Ramsey is huge, and I think Tre'Davious White as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There was a question in here. Do we cut DeAnthony Thomas?
He's on the COVID list. Well, he opted out, actually. He opted out, so yes, he can go. He didn't do anything with us last year, and Duvernay is a much better returner than him.
Tanja Bowman says, you do think, do you think we're going to get Lamar number one receiver? Then what's the point? Same old third string receivers are not cutting it. Yeah, I mean, right now they're not cutting it, but I feel like there's room for improvement. You know, we can get those guys going as long as we can get guys like Dez really involved. It's really about getting guys involved, you know. And Lamar's got to make some more of these throws, you know, to these guys. Like, it really comes down to that.
I mean, I'm so happy you brought that up because he had 2 passes. He just sure touchdowns. Yeah. Sure, or it's just big plays to Snead into Mark Andrews, and he just missed them.
It was 2 back-to-back plays.
And we're not going and as we're both Ravens fans, but we're not going to sit here and make excuses. He just flat out missed them, and that's when he really needs to improve on that. You know, I mean, we'll give him praise, but we're going to criticize when it's there. So we both agree like that has to be fixed. And for the number one receiver, I think that's more on the coaches, to be honest. I mean, we draft these guys and they really don't develop. I think it's more of a coaching. So I think got to stick with what we have at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Let's see. Joseph Follett says he said his arm was cramping and that's why he couldn't throw. Now that's interesting because that was right before he left the game. He missed those throws. Yeah.
I mean, okay, then why not start about that? Let's start out this week. Deep ball. Let's do it. First play, deep ball.
That's what I thought we were gonna do on that flea flicker in the beginning of the game, like first play of the game.
Were you a fan of that play?
I was a fan of that play until I saw Lamar. When I saw Lamar hold the ball for like a split second more than you would normally hold the ball in a flea flicker, I was like, okay, I'm not a fan of this. This is breaking down because as soon as the running back tosses the ball back to you, you're supposed to already know your target. You're supposed to be getting ready to make that throw.
Yep.
But Lamar was just sitting there, so I guess nobody was open. So I was like, okay, did we just not fool them at all, or like were they ready for this? Like, what happened?
Yeah. I actually want to watch the All 22 coaches film on that and just see like what receivers we had on the field and who he was looking towards and just how blocked up they were. And the first play, I'm like, why is Mark Ingram on the field? That was my like number one. I didn't like it from the jump. I was like, why is 21 on the field? But besides that, I mean, I get what they were trying to do, but I don't think against the Browns. Now against the Jaguars this week, if we did something like that, I'd be perfectly fine with that. But the Browns, I don't know.
Tanja Bowman also says Lamar said in the press conference that when he threw those 2 balls, he was cramping and then he left the field.
Okay, so we'll give him a pass on that. So
yeah, give him a pass on that. The media won't, but we'll give him a pass.
They never will. Actually, speaking of, before we preview the whole Ravens Jags game, Lamar when he came back was 5 for 6 for 80 some yards and a touchdown, or 6 for 7. His only incompletion was a spike. Yeah. Think about that.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. It's just like there's certain times, and I think I said this on probably the very first episode of the Purple Rain podcast. There's certain times when Lamar goes into Madden mode, and he just seems like he is completely unstoppable. Like that X Factor Madden.
The Truz.
Like when your player gets that, the Truz, like the Truz activated. And when that happens, he just turns into a totally different player. It's like it doesn't matter what's going on. He's going to get that first down or he's going to get that touchdown, you know, whether you like it or not. And that's just what you love to see out of him. And we need to see more of that.
The first half. I mean, those run plays, it's like in Madden, the QB power and just the lane is wide open and nobody's in front of you. Yeah. And then the one play he just scrambles out and nobody gets him. Those are plays that happen.
Because when the X Factor is activated, you get that breakaway speed too.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it looked like. And man, that was that was last year Lamar what we saw, and it was just so refreshing to see. So let's just hope it keeps up. Okay, like I said, let's go on a run.
Yeah, you're right. Let's go on a run. Joseph Follett, Roman needs to script the first drive better. Agreed. I think that, you know, you see other teams in the league. You see, let's see, the Sean McVays of the world. You know, they're very They're very creative on those first couple drives to try to get out ahead. That's what you got to do. You got to get people on their toes early. Let's see. I wanted to address one more thing here before we get to our Ravens versus Jaguars preview, score predictions, all of that. 2K.
We scored on our first drive.
We did. Mm-hmm.
So,
we typically don't. We typically haven't been doing that.
And we've talked about that. You brought that up last week in our preview. You're like, the Ravens of last year scored on about every single first drive to put that pressure. And you know what? We were down 7-0 at that point when we scored because they got the ball first and scored. So it says a lot about our offense that we went down there. We didn't. The Ravens earlier this year would have passed the ball a lot more than we did, and we ran it. So that's why I'm saying I have a lot more. My confidence level is growing with Roman. I think he's understanding, like, he's on the hot seat. We don't make the playoffs, his ass is gone. So, like, I do agree with the whole scripting thing, but with these next few games, you could see that turn around.
Yeah, you're right. Let's see. 2K crossover 21. He says Miles Boykin could be a monster receiver. How do you think we develop him? So when Miles Boykin first got drafted, I was a huge fan. I was like, listen, man, we're getting this 6 foot whatever guy who runs a sub 4.4 out of Notre Dame. He's gonna be good. He's a big guy. He's fast. There's no way he can't be good. And we just have not seen the brighter days with Miles Boykin yet. And I don't know, like, what do you think about Miles Boykin as a whole? Do you think we can develop him? Do you think that we should move on from him, try somebody else? What do you think about Miles Boykin?
He looked very good last year. First game had a touchdown against the Browns, and then a play that sticks out to me, that Seahawks game, that, like, one of the first plays in our first drive, falling down and catches it. And then he was quiet, but I'm like, okay, that's his rookie year. Let's see him make that next step. And it really hasn't been there this year. And he just looked, off sync with Lamar. But he had a big catch he had his one catch, and it was for our first down. So I think he's starting to pick it up more. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but developing him, I think we just need to get a new receivers coach because we never had a consistently good receiver coach.
You're right. I mean, from a guy who is, can somebody get me Miles Boykin's height? Like, how tall is he? Like, actually, because
I wouldn't think six. I think 6. He's mid-6. I think. I'm not too sure.
Mid-6. Somebody in the chat room. I know somebody knows his height off the top of their head, but he's 6 foot something. And when you're 6 foot whatever, and you are, however big he is weight wise, you have to have that. You got to have the dog, man. We talk about it all the time, man. Yeah, you know what? You're bigger than
Willie
everybody
Snead
else.
did. Willie Snead. I think he's like a few inches. I think he's like a 5'9", 5'10". He went up there and caught that. Would Boykin catch that?
He's 6'4". He's 6'4". You're 6'4", and probably 200 pounds. I don't know how big he is, but look, you're bigger than everybody else. You're bigger than the DBs. So just go up and just make plays over these guys.
Catch that damn ball.
If you're not gonna make the plays, at least be open. You need to be always open. If you're that fast and that big, you need to be physical. Get open. You know what I'm saying? Throw these little boys off you. And I know football's not that simple, but come on, man. You gotta
6'4",
have that dog in you, bro.
6'4", 230.
Come on now. Come on. Oh, man. Juan Gotti says, unpopular opinion, Wink can go too. I don't know about that one, bro. I don't know about that one. I'm not a fan of that one, Juan Gotti. I can't let you get that one off. Yeah, let's see. Jonathan Washington Jr. says, put 2 Nate Robinsons together, and that's Miles Boykin.
See, now why'd you have to bring Nate Robinson in this? Why'd you have to bring Nate Robinson in this?
Oh, man.
Is he up yet?
That whole thing, too. Right? I don't know. He might. Legend has it he's still laying face down. Got KO'd, slumped. Let's see. I want to talk to you about the whole Jake Paul, Conor McGregor thing later on, too.
Oh, he's writing himself a death wish.
That's a death wish. Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll get to that later. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we're gonna go ahead and preview the Ravens versus Jaguars game. As usual, we'll do our couple keys to victory. You guys can put your keys to victory in the chat. We'll bring them up on the screen, discuss those, and then we're gonna get into our score predictions. But in terms of keys to victory, for me at least, hey man, it's gonna be the same as last week. I think that this game shouldn't be too hard for us because the Jaguars defense is not good, and they're not good stopping the run. They're also not good stopping the pass. So I think that this could be a game where we trying to get Dez in rhythm. And I think I don't want to say I'm looking ahead of this game, but I need us to. There's some things that we need to get together. There's some housekeeping things that we need to do as a team in order for us to be good in the playoffs. And I think we need to get our receivers in rhythm. We need to get that juice back. You know what I mean? So
That
if it means that JU Ice, you know what I mean? If we can get out to a lead early, I wouldn't mind seeing Lamar out there slinging it around to Dez Bryant or hopefully Boykin and Hollywood and those guys can play.
I need another Mark Andrews touchdown. When Mark Andrews starts throwing up signs in the touchdown, it's a good game.
Yeah, when he's throwing up the Salt Bay.
Yeah, oh, that's a good game.
It's a good time, and very soon we'll see Dez throwing up that X. And when he throws up that X for the first time in a Ravens jersey, bro, it's over. It's over. I know you're going to be all over it with the videos for sure.
Man.
So
I really hope so. I hope we get the X this year and not like next year in the preseason. I want it live game, real game, regular season, and it matters.
But I think our biggest key to victory here is one, yes, jumping out to an early lead and controlling that clock. But the main thing for me is just getting out of this game healthy. I think that's the biggest victory that we can have on Sunday. If we can get out of this game with Calais Campbell not re-injuring anything, or
that's the biggest one.
Exactly. You know what I mean? If somebody else, we don't need anybody else going down for anything. You know what I mean? We've already had enough injuries this season. We just need to get out of this game healthy. But the way that we win the game, and they're saying it in the chat here, look, we got to get pressure on Gardner Minshew. And pressure is something that man, I just can't stand the lack of pressure that we've been getting on quarterbacks for the most part, because we allow quarterbacks to get so comfortable. And that's what Baker did. He was so comfortable just sitting back in the pocket and then, even extending plays and making those plays.
Yeah.
Because we had his quarterback clock was way too high. We had his quarterback clock way too high. It was
in the 4s or 5s, I think.
You know what I mean? Like we don't need Baker Mayfield having 3, 4, 5 seconds to throw the football. You know what I mean? We need to have his clock, and basically his quarterback clock is that timer that goes off in his head once he snaps the ball, how much time he knows he has to throw. So if we're not getting pressure on him early, this goes for all quarterbacks. Whenever we get to play Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, you know what I mean? If their quarterback clock is too high and they feel comfortable sitting back there knowing that they can go through all their reads because they have the time, they're going to pick us apart. They just are. I understand our secondary is very good, but if you're not getting pressure, those quarterbacks are professionals. They're really good. They're really, really good. So they're going to pick us apart, But those will be the keys to victory. Of course, stay healthy, generating pressure, and getting out to an early lead, running the ball.
Love that. I'm so happy you brought that up because think about that. Mahomes or Allen with a lot of time. Mahomes has Tyreek, Mecole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce. Yeah. Josh Allen, come on. He has Stephon Diggs, John Brown. They have the one rookie, I can't think of his name, their one rookie, and Cole Beasley, who has been amazing. I think he's like the most underrated receiver right now in the league. Yeah. So you can't give them all that time because once, like Sutton said, they will pick you apart. No matter who you could have prime Deion Sanders on one side. I mean, you give anybody 5-6 seconds, they're going to get a way to get open. Yeah. So my 3 keys, like you said, staying healthy. I want to read you off our injury report from just today.
Sure.
Everybody who I list off did not practice. It's Devontae Harris, Anthony Levine, Marcus Peters, Jimmy Smith, Christian Welch, and Derek Wolfe. Tremont Williams and Luke Wilson were limited, and Broderick Washington was full. So there are some key names in that did not, mostly, actually all in the defense. Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. So our offense will be healthy. So that brings me to my second point. Run the damn ball. I don't care who it is, Gus or JK, just run it. Because I know they don't have a good run defense. And if we can keep that run game going, that opens up our passing game. Hit him with a play action, and look who's wide open. Duvernay. Because I don't know if Marquise Brown will play. And then our third, stopping James Robinson. He's a beast.
He's good.
I think our guys, if Calais doesn't play, I'm looking at Broderick Washington to step up. I'm looking at Madubuike to have another solid game because those two
Yeah.
can definitely stop the run. And hey, Brandon Williams, he can do his thing as well. So those are my three: staying healthy, getting the run game going, and also stopping their run game.
And it's interesting that you bring up Calais Campbell. I would not be so opposed to just resting him this week. I get James Robinson's a beast, but I don't think that there's too many other pieces on that offense that can really, really hurt us. You know what I mean? I feel like we'll be fine with a Brandon Williams and Derek Wolfe kind of holding the fort down and just allow Calais Campbell to get a little bit healthier, because we're going to need him really in the postseason. We're going to need that 6'8" behemoth of a man that Calais Campbell is, and we don't need him going down, especially in a Jaguars game. How irritated and pissed off I would be to see Calais Campbell go down against the Jags, to see Calais Campbell go down, period, because, he's a Raven, and I don't want to see any of the Ravens get hurt or any football player. But against the Jags, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we can rest him this week.
I 100% agree. I think he's going to want to play. Former team, going to have his guy Yannick next to him. I think he's going to want to play. But I think have him on a pitch count.
Yeah, something.
Like, he can come in there for maybe a third and short. But if we start getting out to elite, pull him out.
Pull him. Come on. Yeah. Let's go. On the bench. Let's see. Nicholas Branch, he says, can't take no game light. You're right about that.
It's the NFL.
100%.
And the Jets could beat the Browns next week. You never know.
Yeah, you're absolutely
Probably
right. We need to, what it says in the title, just keep winning. Just keep winning.
That's a great
way
title.
That we can do that.
You came up with that. I love that. Just
That's
win.
all we got to do. That's all we got to do. I mean, like you said, we need to be 0-0 going into every week. And that's the mentality that we need to have.
No scoreboard watching. Do it on your own. Don't rely on anybody else. Just worry about, keep your vision clear and keep it, just have that straight line. Just that's all you need. Worry about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Football wins 32. What's up, man? He says Robinson and Chark are Jacksonville's only players to focus on offense, as opposed to Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper, Nick Chubb, and the kicker from the Chiefs, who they play at running back.
Oh, no. Oh,
the kicker from the... Am I missing the joke here?
Kareem Hunt with the hole when he kicked his That's... Oh, man.
Oh, man, I was missing the joke for a second.
Wow.
That's
a great point he brings up, though. But then again, Minshew is a lot like Baker. If you give him time, he will scramble. I mean, he isn't the fastest quarterback, but he's still faster than your average quarterback. Yeah. So, definitely bringing that pressure. But I'm hoping we shut down Chark. You would think Marlon's going to be on him. You would think. But then again, you never know. We could have Peters on him. And then Robinson just run stuff. The Monstars. We have 2 out of 3. Hopefully we have all 3. But that's a really great point. So hopefully it is an easy, comfortable win and no injuries come out of it.
Man. I definitely agree with that. Robinson and Chark are definitely our biggest focuses for them. Of course, like you said, Marlon will be on one of those boys. And I think we'll be good. Now, I want to ask you this before we get to any of the other questions. Our secondary, how do you feel about Marcus Peters right now?
You know what you're going to get with him. That's how I feel. I don't expect him to be a shutdown corner. I don't expect him to just be blanking people or just blanketing people, actually. I know what we're going to get from him. I mean, there was a reason why there was the memes of him with a burnt piece of toast. So... Yeah. I mean, I'm expecting him to get a pick, though, soon, because it's been way too long.
Yeah, it has. It's been a while since he's got a pick, since he's got his hands on the ball. He was a ball hawk for, a couple weeks stretch, He was just getting turnovers.
Pick sixes. But while we're talking about Marcus Peters, how do you feel about the whole thing going on with him spitting on Jarvis Landry? Because as a Ravens fan, I know I'm going to be biased, but this man played...
I did not hear about
that. Apparently he spit on Jarvis Landry after our play, but... I'm going to put you in the Marcus Peters situation. He played high school football in Oakland. I watched a great little documentary. After his games, people were getting shot at the game. I don't think he's going to spit on somebody. I think he's going to go up to their face and tell them that they are I'm not going to say the word, but he can tell you how he feels. So I don't really buy into that. And since Peters has been with us, I don't think Baker has beaten the Ravens, or the Browns have even beaten the Ravens in general. So you take it how you wanna. That's how I feel.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, shoot, I did not know about that whole spitting on Jarvis Landry thing. That is pretty gross.
Did you see Marlon Humphrey's Instagram live afterwards?
I did see that. I did see
That
that.
you see what he said?
I heard what he said, but I didn't really like pay attention to it too much. Why?
It was funny. It was. I was up for it, just watching the whole live, and it's comedy gold.
K Dog says Marcus Peters is a straight thug. He's a goon for sure. That is for sure, no doubt about it. Let's see. I had a question up here that one of our guys asked us.
Yeah, the homegirls, OBJ and Jarvis, the homegirls.
The homegirls, yeah. Oh yeah, so we talked about our keys to victory. Now, and we'll get to you guys' questions in a little bit, but now we're going to talk about our score predictions, our final score predictions for the Jaguars at Ravens game. Now, I'll go first. I think that we will win this game comfortably. I think that we can win this game comfortably. I'm going to go... I'm going to go 41-14.
Wow. That is very close. I was going to say 41-7.
41-7? I think they can score twice.
Why do we pick 41? We both picked 41, which is weird. But that's a great point. They could definitely score twice. But I think this is a statement game, Yeah. Don't play these guys. You got to blow them out of the park. I don't care who's there. Just blow them out of the park and just keep getting that momentum. Kind of like a last year game.
Right. Hopefully it's one of those games where we can be up by so much in the third quarter that they just take Lamar out,
Speaking of that, our backup now is Tyler Huntley, undrafted free agent.
True. Yeah.
So why not give him some reps? You never know. I mean, DeCosta could flip him for a third round pick if he gets some good plays. Yeah, you never know.
If he comes in, scores a touchdown, you definitely you can bet your bottom dollar that EDC is going to be trying to put him on the trade block, just like he did with that what was it, the kicker?
Kyer Vedvik.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be doing that for sure. But I heard that Tyler Huntley's not bad.
No, he was.
He's pretty good.
He was pretty good in college. I don't know why he went undrafted, but I'm glad he came to us because he fits our system.
Yeah. But my score prediction is gonna be 41-14.
Whoa. Derek Carr just got injured. I'm hearing in the chat.
Oh no!
Is it what type of injury are we talking about?
Like an injury? Oh, that's a real quick
I see. Oh
note.
no! Ooh.
This is hamstring issue.
Oh wow!
Hammy. Wow.
Never like to hear that.
Definitely not. Real quick, Emmanuel Esapa, he says Tyler Huntley beat Lamar Jackson in the playoffs when they were in high school. That's interesting. Yep. That's interesting.
Can you tell me, if anybody in the chat, what the score is? I see Marcus Mariota's in now. We're rooting for the Chargers right now. We need the Raiders to lose.
I need Justin Herbert to throw some touchdowns because I have him in fantasy.
Yeah, it is fantasy playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
7-3. Okay.
7-3. Okay. Fantasy playoffs. Are you in the fantasy playoffs? Did you make it in any league?
No, I'm not. I'm out.
Hey man, that's how it goes sometimes, man. Fantasy football is a cold world, bro. You can be balling all season, and then first week of the playoffs, you could just be one and done.
Like the Ravens last year. That's how it is.
Yeah, just like the Ravens, And right now, my fantasy team is shaping up to be. It's looking like I could definitely pull out a victory. I could definitely pull out a victory. I'm in the second round of the playoffs right now. Actually, no, I'm in the semifinals.
Oh, okay.
Right now, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I've got a pretty solid team going into Sunday. I got Justin Herbert playing now. I got Mike Davis, who had a really good game last week.
Big.
Yeah, I
McCaffrey's
got
out
Mike
this week.
Davis. McCaffrey's out still. I've got Derrick Henry, of course. He's gonna eat. Speaks for itself. DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill. I've got CD Lamb. Even though he hasn't really been producing much, but I really have no other options. Eric Ebron. I'm deciding whether I want to start Eric Ebron at tight end this week or Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, they play the Falcons.
Yeah.
The Steelers play. Who do they play this week?
They play the Cincinnati Bengals.
Ooh. Wow. I mean, I think either or is good on that one. I think they're both going to have a good game.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm going to go ahead and start Gronkowski. He's been playing better lately. He's been getting more touchdowns. So I'm gonna probably go with Gronk, even though Ebron's projected to score more. But other than that, yeah.
I just saw the Derek Carr injury. It looks a lot like the RG3 one against the Steelers. It looks like he was running out of bounds. He just kind of pulled up. It looks exactly like that one.
Are they saying it's like super serious?
It's like I mean, he was walking into the locker room with a groin injury, so I don't know. I mean, but they have Marcus Mariota at backup. It's not like you have some rookie. You have a proven vet who's won playoff games, so they're in a good spot.
Yep. But finishing up my fantasy team, I've got Leonard Fournette, who is going to be starting. Because I think Ronald Jones is on the COVID list, the IR list. Yeah, so I've got Leonard Fournette starting. Hopefully he does something. Then I've got Harrison Butker at kicker and Rams defense. Now, our guy Boz, he's saying that I should start Eric Ebron.
He is a Steelers fan, so he might know something that we don't.
Yeah, I mean, what do you know that we don't know? You know what I'm saying? Because like from what I've seen from Ebron, man, and I'm talking to you, Boz, I have not seen much in the past couple of weeks.
Man to
man, mano y mano. I need you to tell me what exactly it is that's gonna get him into the end zone, get me more points than Gronk, man. Because I really need to win this game in fantasy. But shout out to you though. Thank you for giving me that advice. I know Ebron. Yeah, look, man. Ebron, he drops like 3 passes a game, butter hands. It's just like I don't know. Got no hands. It's
and the butterfingers.
The butterfingers. Ebron's not the same. Gronk plays Atlanta. He's gonna get a touchdown. It's like I don't know, man. I don't know.
There was something I wanted to bring up. Totally crossed my mind. I forget what it was about. Oh man, I think it was fantasy. It'll come back. I'm totally drawing a blank right now. Yeah. It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
Let's see. Boz said after Tomlin said the statement about the drops, I guess, I don't know, maybe he got in.
You know about that? You hear about that?
I didn't hear about that. Mm-mm.
So I think I'm going to try to paraphrase it. Basically, he said, if our guys keep on dropping balls, there are guys behind them that won't. If you correct me if I'm wrong. So basically, if you keep on dropping them, you're kind of going to drop in the depth chart.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's how it is. Next man up. If you're not performing, somebody else will. So.
Hey, and last time they played the Bengals, Ben had like 4 or 5 touchdowns.
A Burrowless Bengals. Possible. Nicholas Branch says Herbert is dotting up. I love to hear it.
That's good for you.
I love to hear it.
I see your guy.
Pride, Marquise doesn't drop balls. Yeah.
I see our guy God Baby saying to start Gronk.
Yeah, he's that guy in the red zone. Brady does look for him. I believe Brady threw a touchdown to Gronk in the last Falcons game earlier this season. So definitely, I mean, I'm just banking on him getting a touchdown. I know he's going to get me at least 10 to 12 points, if he gets a touchdown. So, yeah, man, definitely looking out for that.
I remembered it. Mm-hmm. Why haven't the Ravens dropped the Wired yet this week? It is Thursday. We are waiting for this.
They're really working on it.
We are waiting for this, man. Like,
are you sure they're not premiering it tonight?
I haven't seen anything. Their Twitter has not announced anything as well. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, hopefully they can release it by tonight. If not, tomorrow. But hey, they need to take their time with that because that should be a movie.
That's gonna be a movie.
That's gonna be a movie. Like, I'm gonna definitely have my popcorn ready for that Ravens Wired whenever it does drop because that's gonna be amazing. Best one like ever.
Yeah. So
it's gonna top all the ones from last season.
will it top the Seattle Seahawks one? Because that was a great one.
It's got to.
Mm. And Mark Ingram's mic'd up for it. So it's going to be quality content.
Mark Ingram's mic'd up. NFL Productions, he said that Peters was wired.
Oh. Oh,
Ooh.
man.
Ooh, that should be good,
wow.
right? That should be
wow.
good. We're going to get to see, Lamar run into the locker room and then Lamar run back out of the locker room. And,
Yes.
oh, man, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see that.
So Boz put in
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin's quote, word for word. They can catch the ball or they can get replaced by those who will catch it.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah. And that's a typical Tomlin line. He would say something like that through and through. I have so much respect for Mike Tomlin. I hate the Steelers, but Mike Tomlin is such a great coach. You know what I mean? Other than that one time he stepped on that field. He put his foot on the field. That was the one time I had beef with Mike Tomlin. But, hey, man, he's a fabulous coach, man. And all shout out to him for just coaching up that team. Even without Ben, they still managed to go 8-8 somehow last season. And they're doing really well this season. They've dropped 2 in a row, but I think that they'll be fine.
While we're talking about coaches, what coach do you think has the best drip in the league?
The best drip in the league. Well, I really don't see a lot of them. They all look the same to me. It's pretty standard. It's like,
I'm gonna open. There is some that. So I'm gonna just give you some examples. Like Arians has his hat all the time. McVay has like the tucked in jacket with the khakis and then the mask. Tomlin always has the bomber jacket on with like a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Shanahan has the bomber jacket as well. Pete Carroll, I don't know what the hell he does. And you have Andy Reid's fat ass. I have beef with Andy Reid at this point. I have so much beef with Andy Reid. They don't want to play Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He always looks like a Kool-Aid man. I can't stand him.
When people say Belichick, honestly, I might have to go with Cliff. That's a good one. I might have to go with Sean McVay.
Yes,
Sean McVay. He looks very clean. You know what I mean? He looks very clean with the got the pants on, tucked in. He's got the mask. The hair is always on point. Yeah,
the beard.
I'm gonna go with Sean McVay. I like his style.
John Gruden.
John Gruden.
That is
okay.
Man. John Gruden always has that mad ass face. He always is like mad for no reason.
Yeah, just no nonsense. He's that kind of guy. Yeah, though.
Belichick has the cutoff sleeves. Oh, yeah. Wink always has that chain out, and then he has the mullet. And the cutoff sleeves and the undershirt. I do like Wink.
Wink with the chain, yeah. John Gruden is crazy, man. You guys y'all really like John Gruden's drip. Okay, all right.
I'm going with McVay.
Maybe I'm missing it. I'm gonna go with McVay too.
McVay is like by far my favorite coach in the league, so I got to go McVay.
Yeah, I would love to see his his creativity on the Ravens. You know what I mean? Sean McVay, he's always switching stuff up at the beginning of the game in terms of, plays and stuff like that. Apparently, Marcus Mariota has just taken the field. That's pretty cool. I'd like to see that. Listen, guys, you have been watching the Purple Rain podcast for the past hour and 18 minutes. Now, before we get out of you guys' hair for the night, we want you guys to go ahead and like that video. Want to know why? Because it helps us out a ton, for one, and we can keep bringing you guys Ravens content, because we love the Rain Gang and we want to keep putting out content for you guys, and we'll be here, every Monday and Thursday, barring like scheduling and stuff like that. We'll let you guys know. Also, subscribe if you're new here. Subscribe, join the Rain Gang. You know what I mean? We love all our new subs. Reach out to us on Twitter or Instagram. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at SuttonDef. You can find Alex on Twitter or Instagram at AlexSilverman_, and on Instagram, simply as10.prod.
Yes.
Like I said, before we get out of here, I wanted to ask you about that whole thing.
Okay.
With the Jake Paul and the Conor McGregor before we get out of here, guys.
So while I'm talking about this, can you drop any questions you have? Kind of just to finish us off.
Yeah.
So it can be anything, but for the Jake Paul, Conor McGregor, Why are you testing a man who had the balls to call out the best boxer of all time in Floyd
Hmm.
Mayweather and look very good while doing it? Like, why?
I mean,
It's all for the money,
it's
obviously.
all money. You think
But
about it, it's a win-win situation for Jake Paul,
yeah,
because like he wins the fight and suddenly he's on top of the world. If he loses the fight, it's like, okay, I wasn't supposed to win that fight and I just made a boatload of money.
I don't think McGregor's even going to bat an eye to it. He's all the way up here, like in just like the real life we're talking about. Now Paul has him over on the social media, but in the end, the real life is always going to beat the social media, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I just think McGregor should just kind of turn a blind eye to it because he's doing his thing no matter what. I mean, he has a fight coming up soon, I think in January.
Yeah, he
So
does against Dustin Poirier.
yeah, and when that happens, you'll be on top of it.
I'll be
Um,
all over it.
but I think it's stupid from Jake Paul. He's a dickhead. I
I
can't
mean,
stand him.
it's all for clout, It's
Yeah,
all about, just kind of getting your name out there and for them to have more publicity. And at the end of the day, more publicity means more money. You know what I mean? So it's smart on their end. And they're kind of like they're tempting Conor McGregor and guys like Floyd Mayweather, like, hey, look, throwing $50 million on the table. Come and fight me. It's yours. You know what I mean? And who
yeah.
would say no to that? It's like it's an easy fight. You know, you just go in there, you win. It was funny though. Dana White, the president of the UFC, he came out and said that, hey man, for this Jake Paul guy, I can get the women's, like the bantamweight champion of the world to fight this guy and knock him out. And she responded, her name's Amanda Nunes. And Amanda Nunes, she responded, she's like, hey, I'm down. I'm with it.
I want to
Like,
see
I'm
that.
game.
I would. It's like you can't go into like Boz. I love that analogy. That's like Trace McSorley telling Tom Brady how to throw a football. That's facts.
Hmm.
Like you can't go and just call somebody out who is at the top or one of the best, at the top right now. Just
Yeah,
can't do that. You got to work your way up just like everybody else would. It's kind of a spit in the face to the people who have worked their asses off for this,
that's
because I
true.
mean, they don't look like fighting wise, they haven't worked their asses off half as much compared to anybody in the UFC right now. These guys, I see guys who go through the trials just to get a damn contract.
Hmm.
So it's those guys I would take over Jake Paul in the match right now. So
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely, when you put it that way, it's like, dang, he is kind of leapfrogging like everyone who's trained their whole life, for a moment like that. But hey, it just goes to show money talks. Money
money does
talks.
talk.
And the difference between Jake Paul and Logan Paul and a lot of these other up and coming fighters is that they have money. You know what I'm saying? They can put themselves out there at any given moment. And they've already grown a huge following from what you guys are watching this on right now, YouTube. So it's like they've got the money, they've got the publicity, so they can make things happen. But big shout out to them though. If they actually make that happen, Logan Paul is already scheduled to fight Floyd. You know what I mean? Like that's happening. That's a real thing. The fact
Man, I
that
don't.
Logan Paul even got him to sign off, it's just like, hey,
I don't.
you got
That
it
doesn't
done.
sit right with me. I've never been the biggest fan of him because of what he's done. Like these are two of the biggest dickheads. Like how they still have a following shows how brain dead their supporters are. That's just me.
Mm,
Like they're
okay.
two just pieces of shit, in my opinion. That's
Really?
that's how I feel. Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Mm.
If you film a dead body and put it on the internet, how are you still able to do this?
Oh, I
If
do
that were
remember
me,
that.
my channel's getting banned. It don't matter how many
Yeah.
subs I have, and the fact he still has his channel, that's just personally how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. That's can't argue with that. Can't argue with
Yeah,
that. But in terms of like, will that fight actually happen? I think that I don't think it'll actually happen only because Conor McGregor is under contract with the UFC, and for him to fight anybody, Dana White, UFC president, has to sign off on it. And I would think that Dana White would want Conor McGregor making money for the UFC as
right.
opposed to just more money for Conor McGregor, and that's just how business works. But yeah, I mean it's interesting nonetheless.
Ooh,
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. What happened though?
this is the comment that just came through from our guy Boz.
For Boz, he says Jake Paul needs to fight KSI before anything. KSI would knock his block off. So KSI fought Logan Paul
Beat
twice.
him,
Yeah, he beat
tied
him
the
one
one
time
time,
and they
and then
tied.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's crazy though. That just goes to show like just how much money talks because Logan Paul has not won a professional fight.
No,
You know what I
ever.
mean?
Like
So, and he's fighting Floyd Mayweather.
that's just
It's funny to think about, man. It's hilarious to think about. Yeah, Fatal Storm Clan. Shout out to Fatal Storm Clan. I know you got
coming
in here a little
through,
bit late tonight, but you came through for us. He says breaking
coming
news:
through.
Derek Carr has had a growing injury. Um, yeah, shout out to you, man, for keeping us updated. Very loyal watcher of the show. So shout out
Yes.
to you, bro. But on that note, I think that
I think
will
that's
do
it.
it for
Any other
us for
question? Any
tonight.
final
Yeah,
questions? Anybody? Yeah, we got people still in here.
yeah. We got some people still in here. I don't think that we have any final questions that they want us to get to. So, just the normal housekeeping stuff, guys. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, follow both of us, Twitter and Instagram. There's going to be more content coming soon. If the Ravens make the playoffs, we're going to have, a really good time, man. We're going to have a party if the Ravens make the playoffs, man. It's going to be a good time on the
Just know that.
Purple Rain podcast. Apparently, Darren Waller just scored a touchdown.
Oh,
Mariota's going crazy. So obviously, we need to go watch this game. He says, yeah, Boz says, are you starting Ebron? You know what, Boz? I might just, I haven't really, I got to think about it just a little bit more. I got to sleep on it. I'm going to sleep on it.
okay.
And then, I'm going to get back to you on that. Because I don't know, man. He's been dropping a lot of balls. He's been
Pause.
on, yeah. Pause. Of course. But we'll see.
Yeah,
I'll have to sleep on that one. K Dog says, "Have a happy birthday, son." I appreciate that, bro, so much.
we'll
So
be back
much.
on Thursday. So maybe a little next Monday if we win. A little birthday celebration stream for our guy.
Birthday celebration. I don't know. I might do something wild. I don't know. I'm gonna take a shot on the podcast.
On stream. On stream.
On stream. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. So this has been the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 10. We thank you guys so much for coming through. Like, subscribe. We're gonna catch you guys in the next one.
Yes.
Simply, you can end it off for us.
And as always, even after a Ravens W, stay positive and test negative.
Yep.
Simple as that.
We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.